Water is essential for life, but for many people the quality of water available may be poor. Analysis of a water supply may be required to find out whether the water is safe to drink or whether it needs to be treated before consumption. Methods of analysing the quality of water are discussed in other films in this series. It is just as important, however, to ensure that the samples of water tested are representative of the water supply as a whole. Water sampling is therefore as important an activity as the process of water analysis. When a water sample is collected, care needs to be taken to ensure that there is no accidental contamination of the sample from the container the sample is collected in. During the process of sampling, during transportation of the sample from field to laboratory if no portable field testing equipment is available, and by the way it is stored prior to analysis. Preparation and sterilization of sample bottles. Several types of bottle may be used for sampling. Glass, plastic, or aluminium containers are all suitable, although it may be easier to clean and sterilize glass bottles. There are several steps to the preparation and sterilization of the sample bottle. The first step is to clean and wash the sample bottle or container thoroughly and rinse with distilled or deionized water. Next, for a 200 milliliter sample, add 4 or 5 drops of aqueous sodium thiosulfate solution to neutralize any residual chlorine, which could distort the results of the analyzed sample. Screw bottle caps should only be loosely fastened prior to sterilization, and then only tightened when they have cooled following sterilization. For a ground glass bottle with a stopper, a strip of paper or aluminium foil should be placed inside the neck of the bottle to prevent the stopper from getting stuck during sterilization. Now fasten a piece of paper, or preferably aluminium foil, although any thick paper would do, over the cap and neck of the bottle. Tie it on with an open bow knot which can be released by a single tug. This helps to protect the bottle from contamination. Quality aluminium foil may not require the addition of the string, as it will naturally retain its shape and cling to an object it envelops. If in doubt, however, use string 2 as shown here. Sterilize the sample bottles in an autoclave, a strong heated container used for chemical reactions and other processes including steam sterilization. Operate according to the manufacturer's instructions. Usually, bottles will require steam sterilization at 120 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes. Alternatively, glass bottles can be heated in a dry oven at 170 degrees centigrade for 1 hour. Note that most plastic sample bottles cannot be sterilized in an autoclave because of the high temperature. Special plastic bottles can be obtained, but if this is not possible, standard plastic bottles should be sterilized by immersing them in a chlorine solution at the outset, making sure that the residual is neutralized with aqueous sodium thiosulfate solution. Once sterilized, allow the bottles to cool and store in a refrigerator until required. Sampling from a tap or standpost. To draw a sample from a tap or a standpost, first wash your hands and clean the tap. Remove any attachments that may cause splashing and, using a clean cloth, wipe the outlet to remove any dirt. If the tap is leaking, it must be repaired before sampling. After cleaning the tap or spout, wash your hands again. Next, open the tap until it reaches its maximum rate of flow. Let the water flow from the tap for 1 to 2 minutes to clear the service line. Then close the tap. Now sterilize the spout. Sterilize it for a minute with a flame from an ignited cotton wool swab soaked in alcohol or a gas burner or portable lighter. If the tap or spout is made from plastic, do not use a flame. Instead, wipe thoroughly with a solution of hypochlorite. Failing this, use an alcohol wipe. When you have done this, open the tap again, this time allowing the water to flow for 1 to 2 minutes at normal rate. Open the sterilized bottle carefully. Untie the string fixing the protective paper to the cap and unscrew or remove the stopper, keeping your fingers on the paper or foil. Whilst holding the cap and protective cover face downwards, so as to prevent entry of dust that could carry microorganisms into the bottle, immediately hold the bottle under the water jet and fill the bottle to the shoulder only. Leaving space in the bottle makes shaking before analysis easier. Turn off the tap, then replace the cap or stopper and refix the paper or foil to cover the cap again and tie it on with the string. Securely attach a label to the bottle or write on the bottle itself, giving the location, the time of sampling, the date and the sampler's name. Place it in a transport box and return it to the laboratory within 24 hours if stored in melted ice. Alternatively, analyze the sample using a field test kit as soon as possible after collecting the sample. Sampling from hand pumps and wells and boreholes fitted with a pump. For wells and boreholes equipped with a pump, the pump should be operated for at least 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the depth and diameter of the borehole, to clear any standing water in a water column. Clean the pump outlet thoroughly and, using the same process described earlier, sterilize for a minute with a flame, unless the spout is made from plastic, in which case wipe thoroughly with a solution of hypochlorite or an alcohol wipe if no hypochlorite solution is available. Operate the pump for a further 2 minutes and take a sample from the flowing stream of water. To protect the container from contamination, follow the same precautionary process you would use if drawing a sample from a tap. Sampling from an open well. To draw a sample from an open well, a weighted bottle or shallow sampling device may be used. First, with a piece of string, attach a clean and washed stone to the sterilized sampling container. Then attach the bottle to a longer length of clean string or wire rolled around a stick and tie this onto the first piece used to attach the stone to the bottle. The second length may need to be several meters long, depending on the distance from the surface to the water level in the well. Once the bottle is securely attached to the coiled string or wire, open the bottle. Lower the bottle, weighted down by the stone, into the well, unwinding the string slowly. Do not allow the bottle to touch the side of the well. Immerse the bottle completely in the water and lower it to the bottom of the well. Once the bottle is filled, rewind the string around the stick to raise the bottle. If the bottle is completely full when raised, discard a little to provide space for shaking prior to analysis. Replace the cap or stopper on the bottle. Process the sample in the same way you would do for a sample drawn from a tap. Sampling from a watercourse or reservoir. To draw a sample from a watercourse such as a river or a stream, or from a reservoir, first wash your hands thoroughly and carefully undo the bottle cap without touching the neck of the bottle to avoid possible contamination. Holding the bottle by the base, submerge it to a depth of about 30 centimeters with the mouth facing slightly upwards. If there is a current, the bottle mouth should face towards the current. If there is no current, scoop the bottle away from your body. If the bottle is completely full, discard some so that the sample can be shaken before analysis. Replace the cap or stopper carefully without touching the neck of the bottle. Sampling water from a water container. A sample from a water carrier's pot or bucket may be more representative of what is actually being drunk, so a sample should be taken from that as well. If the water is stored in the house, then the household container would also need to be sampled. Positive results showing contamination from a sample of the household container alone would indicate poor hygiene in the home and not that the original source of the groundwater is polluted. If a bottle can be immersed in the container, then a sample can be taken by fully immersing the sample bottle. If this is not possible, then a quantity of water can be poured from the container into the sample bottle. In both cases, the sample bottle should be clean and sterile. Wash your hands before collecting a sample.